You might be destroying your reputation right now without even realizing it. Think about that for a second. Every day, there are little habits, tiny, almost invisible choices, that seem harmless, even normal, but in reality they eat away at the respect people have for you. And the scary part? You might be repeating these patterns every single day without noticing the damage they're quietly causing in your personal life, your professional life, and even to the way you see yourself. In today's video, I want to open your eyes to 4 toxic habits that silently sabotage your image. If you truly want to be taken seriously, to be respected, to be remembered for the right reasons, you need to know these habits and eliminate them. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. But before we dive in, I want to pause for a moment and give you a sincere thank you. The Stoicism Everyday channel exists because of you. Every comment you leave, every like you click, every video you share, it all gives us the motivation to keep producing content with more depth, more clarity, and more intention. Watching this community grow, seeing people reflect and transform, that's what drives us. So from my heart, thank you for walking this path of self-knowledge and daily evolution with me. Now, let's get real. Respect doesn't just vanish into thin air. When respect disappears from your life, it's not by accident. It's not bad luck. It's not because people just don't get you. No, respect fades because of small actions, or sometimes small omissions, that accumulate over time. They seem insignificant at first, but they carry a silent cost. And if there's one philosophy that helps us notice these patterns with brutal clarity, it's Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That same idea applies here. Don't waste time worrying about what people say, focus on what you do. Seneca also said that the greatest sign of wisdom is to observe yourself honestly. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. Strip away the excuses, remove the masks, and look within, because only then can you identify the small but destructive habits that eat away at both your reputation and your confidence. And trust me, I know these habits because I've lived them. Throughout my own life, I fell into every single one of these traps. And it wasn't until I started applying Stoic principles consistently that I began to see real change, more respect, more balance, more clarity in every relationship. So if you're ready for some uncomfortable but liberating truths, grab your coffee, get comfortable, and stay with me until the end, because what you're about to hear might sting at first, but it also has the power to completely reshape the way people see you. So, let's start with the first silent destroyer of respect, gossip, the poison of relationships that so many of us treat like it's nothing. Gossiping feels harmless, right? A bit of water cooler talk, a bonding activity with friends, a little distraction in the middle of a routine. But here's the brutal truth, whoever gossips to you will gossip about you. The moment you participate, even without bad intentions, you send one very clear message: I'm not trustworthy. You're telling people that you can't keep a secret, that you enjoy feeding on the failures of others. I'll never forget this lesson. Back in college, gossip was like a background soundtrack. Every conversation seemed to circle around other people's lives, who was dating whom, who messed up, who said what. It felt harmless, even fun. But one moment opened my eyes. A quiet classmate, we'll call her Sarah, had a private crush on someone in our class. Somehow that detail slipped out, and within days it spread like wildfire. People laughed, turned it into a running joke. Sarah completely shut down, pulling away from everyone. Watching her retreat in silence hit me hard. That's when I realized gossip is never just small talk. It leaves scars. The Stoics warned about this centuries ago. Epictetus said, if you hear something, don't repeat it. If it doesn't concern you, don't say it. And if it doesn't elevate, don't even listen. Gossip doesn't just hurt the person being talked about, it diminishes you. Even if people around you don't call you out, they notice. They think, if this person speaks this way about Sarah, what do they say about me when I'm not here? And once that thought creeps in, your reputation quietly erodes. So here's the choice you face. Do you want to be the person whose conversations feed on rumors and pettiness, or the one whose conversations elevate and inspire? There's an old proverb that says, small minds discuss people. Average minds discuss events. Great minds discuss ideas. Every day you get to choose which group you belong to. And choosing the higher path. That's the first step toward building unshakable respect. The second habit that quietly eats away at respect, sometimes even faster than gossip, is being unreliable, saying things you don't follow through on, making promises you don't keep, giving your word and then breaking it. In today's world, everyone promises everything. I'll be there. I'll help you. I'll change. But when the time comes, excuses, distractions, silence. And here's the reality you must face: when your word loses value, you lose value right along with it. Reliability is not optional if you want respect, it's the foundation of it. I used to think flexibility was a strength. That being spontaneous, being someone who could change plans at the last minute, made me easygoing and fun. But what I didn't realize was that behind that flexibility was a habit of breaking trust. I'd make plans, then cancel. I'd tell friends I'd show up, then find something better to do. And I'll never forget the moment that illusion shattered. A close friend, let's call her Emily, spent weeks preparing her birthday party. She thought of every detail, from decorations to music to the guest list. I promised her, more than once, that I wouldn't miss it. Of course I'll be there, I said. Count on me. But on the day of the party, I got distracted with another activity. Time slipped away. By the time I realized, the party was already happening. I sent her a rushed text, apologizing, trying to justify myself. Her reply was polite but cold. And in that moment, I felt the weight of what I had done. It wasn't just a party I missed, it was trust. Our relationship grew distant, because she saw what I hadn't admitted: my words weren't worth much. The Stoics saw integrity as the highest form of wealth. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more valuable than the commitment of a person of integrity." Your word is your contract. Reliability isn't built on flashy promises, it's built on consistency. Arriving when you say you will. Delivering when you say you will. Being transparent about your limits instead of overpromising. And when life throws unexpected challenges at you, reliability means you communicate with honesty and respect, not excuses at the last minute. Here's the truth: people don't demand perfection from you. They don't expect you to control everything. But they do expect consistency. Because consistency builds trust, and trust builds respect. And without respect, even the most talented, intelligent, charismatic person becomes irrelevant. I've seen it countless times in professional settings. Someone brilliant, full of ideas, but always missing deadlines, always overpromising, always showing up late. At first people give them the benefit of the doubt. But slowly, quietly, they stop being invited to serious opportunities. Because at the end of the day, skill matters, but reliability decides who gets trusted with responsibility. So ask yourself, is your word strong enough that people can build on it? Or is it so fragile that it crumbles at the first distraction? If you want to gain respect, you must make reliability a part of your identity. Every small commitment matters. Every time you say, "I'll be there," and actually show up, you're investing in your reputation. Every time you say, "I'll do it," and then you do it, even if no one else notices, you're proving that your word is worth something. And that is priceless. The third silent destroyer of respect is one you may not even notice yourself doing: interrupting others. At first glance, it seems harmless. Who hasn't cut someone off mid-sentence? Maybe you were excited, maybe you thought you were adding value, maybe you simply didn't realize you were doing it. But here's the hidden truth: every time you interrupt, you send a message you probably don't intend: what I have to say is more important than what you are saying right now. And over time, that message chips away at people's respect for you. I know this habit all too well. Early in my career, I was hungry to prove myself. Meetings felt like a stage where I had to show my knowledge, my ideas, my enthusiasm. The result? I would barely let people finish a thought. If I disagreed, I jumped in. If I had an idea, I cut in. If I thought I could add value, I interrupted. I thought I was showing initiative. In reality, I was showing ego. One day, my manager pulled me aside after a meeting. She wasn't angry, she was calm, almost gentle, but her words hit me like lightning. She said, "You're always ready to speak, but rarely ready to listen." That sentence stayed with me, because she was right. I wasn't listening. I was waiting for my turn to talk. And there's a word for that, ego disguised as enthusiasm. The Stoics valued listening as a form of wisdom. Epictetus, who started life as a slave and became one of history's greatest philosophers, once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to listen more and speak less." Think about that for a moment. True strength is not in dominating the conversation. It's in being present enough to hear what others are saying, to let their thoughts breathe, to give them space to finish. From that moment on, I began practicing what I call Stoic listening. Every time I felt that urge to jump in, I trained myself to pause. I'd take a breath and ask, does this really need to be said right now? Or can it wait? More often than not, the answer was, it can wait. And you know what happened? People began to respect me more. I became known as someone balanced, someone trustworthy, someone who gave space rather than took it. Here's the irony, when you stop interrupting, people listen to you more. Why? Because they know that when you finally speak, it's not out of ego, it's out of thoughtfulness. When you practice intentional silence, you demonstrate discipline. When you let others finish, you show humility. And in today's noisy world, humility is rare, and respected. If you want to earn respect, start by mastering your silence. Let others speak. Don't just wait for your turn, actually listen. Because when you truly listen, you don't just gain information, you build connection. And connection creates something even rarer than respect, it creates trust. So the next time you feel that urge to jump in, remember this, your voice will carry more weight when you've proven you can honor others' voices too. Respect grows not from the loudest voice in the room, but from the one who listens with intention. The fourth and final habit that silently destroys respect is one we all fall into from time to time, complaining. Let's be real, we've all done it. Complaining about the traffic, the weather, the boss, the deadlines, the bills. At first, it feels like release. A way to vent, to let off steam, maybe even bond with others over shared frustrations. But here's the hidden danger, when complaining becomes a pattern, it stops being harmless. It turns into poison. Not just for you, but for everyone around you. Think about it. When someone complains constantly, do you feel energized being around them, or drained? The truth is, negativity is contagious. It spreads like smoke in a room, suffocating everyone slowly. And worst of all, when complaining becomes your identity, people stop seeing you as a problem solver. They start seeing you as a burden. Respect evaporates, not because you're a bad person, but because your energy pushes people away. I know this cycle firsthand. There was a period in my life when I complained about everything. If it rained, I complained. If it was too hot, I complained. If someone made a mistake, I held on to it for days, stewing, repeating the story to anyone who'd listen. Until one day, a close friend looked me in the eye and said with brutal honesty, "Man, it seems like nothing is ever good enough for you." Have you noticed that? At first, I got defensive. But later, those words echoed in my head. And they stung, because they were true. I had slipped into the role of the victim. Here's the danger of living as a victim, you hand over your power. Complaining says, "I can't change this, I can only suffer from it." But the Stoics saw life differently. They taught us, don't waste energy fighting reality. Transform what you can, and accept what you cannot. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The rain will not stop because you grumble. Traffic won't move faster because you slam the steering wheel. Your boss won't suddenly change because you sigh about them at dinner. But what can change, what always can change, is your attitude. When I finally embraced this, my life shifted. Instead of complaining, I started asking, is this under my control? If yes, act. Fix it, improve it, change it. If no, accept it. Let it go. This mindset freed me. If the environment was toxic, I left. If someone wronged me, I searched for the lesson instead of stewing in resentment. If there was truly no solution, I took a deep breath and moved on. That didn't make me naive or overly optimistic, it made me lighter. Stronger. And people noticed. So let me ask you, do your conversations energize or drain people? Do you spend more time talking about problems or solutions? Do you focus on gratitude or on grievances? Your mind works like a radar, it finds what you train it to find. Feed it negativity, and the world looks like chaos. Train it to look for opportunity, and suddenly, doors appear where before there were only walls. Respect isn't only about what you say, it's about the vibration you carry. No one respects a constant complainer. But everyone respects someone who can face life's chaos with calm, who knows when to act and when to let go. So the next time you feel that urge to complain, pause. Ask yourself, can I control this? If yes, take action. If no, accept and move forward. That one small discipline can transform not just your reputation, but your entire experience of life. The good news? None of these habits are permanent. Every one of them can be replaced, through Stoic discipline, through awareness, and through daily practice. Instead of gossip, choose conversations that elevate ideas. Instead of unreliability, make your word sacred. Instead of interrupting, practice intentional silence and real listening. And instead of constant complaining, train yourself to act where you have control and accept where you do not. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." I'd adapt that for our journey here. The best way to earn respect is to be unlike the majority. To stand out by being someone who inspires trust, peace, and presence in a noisy world full of broken promises, shallow talk, and negativity. Respect doesn't come from being perfect, it comes from being consistent in the small things that others overlook. Here's the challenge I'll leave you with: don't try to change all 4 habits at once. Pick just one. Maybe gossip is your weak point. Maybe reliability. Maybe you catch yourself interrupting. Or maybe you've realized that complaining has been draining your energy for years. Choose one, and commit to changing it, step by step, day by day. Over time, those small shifts compound. And one day you'll look back and realize people treat you differently. They trust you more. They listen when you speak. They respect you, because you first respected yourself. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 4 habits do you recognize most in yourself? Be honest. Write it down in the comments, and declare it publicly with this phrase: I choose to be worthy of respect. Let us know which habit you're ready to transform. By doing this, you're not only committing to your own growth, but you're strengthening the community we're building here, a community that supports reflection, growth, and action. If this video has helped you, don't keep it to yourself. Like it, share it with someone who needs this reminder, and subscribe if you haven't already. Because here, philosophy isn't just theory, it's practice. It's about applying timeless wisdom to modern life, so you can grow into the strongest, clearest, most grounded version of yourself. And until the next video, remember this: you are responsible for the energy you bring into the world. So bring what builds. Leave behind what destroys. And every day, step closer to becoming the person who not only commands respect, but deserves it.